for Bring Your Own Lunch. Personal stories about the business with my daddy, Dave T. Koenig.
All right, come on in. Have a seat. Welcome. This is the Bring Your Own Lunch podcast at BringYourOwnLunch.com, the magic of iTunes, the majesty of Stitcher. And however you found your way to download this podcast, I thank you. As you heard at the top, my name is Dave T. Koenig. I'm an actor, writer, director, producer, comedian, all-around swell dude. I had bacon with lunch today. Bacon makes me happy. And of course, I'm the host of the podcast you're listening to right now. BYOL is the hashtag you can use if you want to get involved social media. You can like us on Facebook.com/BringYourOwnLunch. You can follow us on Twitter at BYOL Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Bring Your Own Lunch. And if that's too much for you and you just want to have one place to find it all, well, we got that for you too. You can go to the website, the mothership, if you will, BringYourOwnLunch.com, where you'll find out all the information about the guests on this program, past, present, and presumably future. It's a nice place to visit. And you can always send me a personal email, dave@BringYourOwnLunch.com. How much pain can you endure on a day-to-day basis? A little bit? A pretty good amount? A lot? And how long can you let that go on before you do something about it? And in that time, how does that affect what you really want to do with your life? It's a question a lot of people have, and a question a lot of people have to deal with. And in this business of putting your best foot forward at all times and being as friendly as you can to as many people as you can and looking good and feeling good on the inside, how hard is that to do? I ask this because my guest this week is a friend of mine who is a fantastic actor, just brilliant, and she's been written up in the New York Times and other places, and I think she is a star in the making. Casandera Lollar. I worked with her on a play called When You Coming Back, Red Ryder that was produced by Retro Productions, and if you didn't listen last week, I had Heather Cunningham, the artistic director and founder of Retro Productions, talking about that organization and everything that they're doing that's just so awesome. And one of the best parts about working on that play for Retro was getting to work with Casandera and getting to know her, who is a very, very cool person and I think is incredibly talented. I also worked with her on a little thing I did called Man-Ties, the Man-Tie Teow story. And that's in the show notes for this episode at BringYourOwnLunch.com. And one thing I kind of knew about her, but I didn't really know a heck of a lot about it, is that Casandera, from a very early age, has been dealing with endometriosis. If you don't know what endometriosis is, there will be a link in the show notes for this episode. It's a condition that largely goes unrecognized, unnoticed, unappreciated, partially and not coincidentally because it only affects women. So Casandera, from an early age, had to deal with that, and for her, it represented daily pain. And she has been climbing the ladder, trying to do her best to create her acting career, but recently had to take some time off so that she could deal with her condition. And now she's got a new lease on life. She's feeling much better. She recently had some surgery to alleviate some of these issues. And this, for me, was a great conversation to catch up with a friend, learn a little bit more about something I didn't know, and for her to declare her renewed attack on this business. If you're somebody who's dealing with an issue and it's affecting your work, this may be a podcast that you can relate to very, very well. I've talked about my back pain, and in relation, that just seems silly for me to complain about my back pain. But it's true that when you do have these issues, these things that nag you, whether they're physical or mental or a combination of both, if it's something that's affecting you personally or something that's affecting somebody you love, it can be really difficult going through your day-to-day stuff, just trying to keep it going. And what I suggest to you, and something that I probably should be better at myself, is looking to others for help. I don't always say a heck of a lot personal about my stuff to anybody, and I choose not to, and I don't want to bog this down with anything that I'm going through or have gone through or anything like that. Besides my back pain, that's easy enough, and I did do the inversion table, and that did fix everything. I'm feeling great now physically as far as my back goes, but it's not all that uncommon to fall into that mindset that says, I can just get through this. I can handle this. I can deal with it. I can make this work. And let's say 7 out of 10 times, you can. I think the human mind and the human body can do amazing things. And we do have the ability to heal ourselves in many ways. But those 3 out of 10, it's more than any of us should have to deal with. It's more than any of us should have to tackle by ourselves. So if you find yourself in a situation where you do need assistance, don't feel bad about leaning on the people who care about you. I think overall, it will make you feel better. It'll make you feel like you're not quite alone. And it'll make you feel closer to the people that you open up to. This business is based on relationships. And some of the hardest things to do is actually have relationships, because some of what we do is superficial and artificial. And we pretend and we play games. It's what we do for a living. But it doesn't mean you can't make real personal connections with people. And sometimes that means letting people see the ugly side and letting people help you, because people do want to help and people do want to know how you're doing. So that's my thought for this week. I don't have a heck of a lot of business stuff to talk about, but I figured this one was a good chance to throw some thoughts out there about that. And Casandera is somebody who did get help, and I'm glad she did. And I'm glad she's feeling better. And I'm glad that I had a chance to talk to her. So that's coming up. But before that, let's thank Banooba, Banooba.net, BANOOBA.net. That's the band that provides the music at the beginning, middle, and end of this show. They are fantastic. Go to their website, download their music, buy their music, go see them live. And if you do make contact with them, tell them Dave says hi. And if you really want to help bring your own lunch, well, there's a very simple and inexpensive, in fact, free way to help out bring your own lunch. That's going to iTunes or Stitcher and rate, review, subscribe to Bring Your Own Lunch. When you do that, you tell Stitcher and iTunes that we're doing a good job and that they should let other people know we're doing a good job. As you may or may not know, podcasting still isn't the lucrative business that some people say it might become, but for now, we depend greatly on the word of mouth of others and the kindness of you to tell people what we're doing. So rate, review, subscribe, and then tell 10 friends that Bring Your Own Lunch is a good podcast, because it helps. And that's me asking you for help. All right, let's get into it with Casandera Lollar. Fantastic actor. Talented costumer. Brooklyn native, but not in the way you think. Survivor. Here's Casandera. Enjoy. All right, before we begin,
yes,
I learned something on the way here.
Yes.
That I didn't realize. That is, it's your birthday.
Yes.
I first of all, I'm sorry I didn't know it was your birthday ahead of time.
How dare you not know?
How dare I not know? But then, like, by the grace of Facebook, I'm suddenly like, oh my God, wow. So I decided for your birthday, I would get you a podcast.
Oh,
yes, you have
so sweet.
Now you're the owner of your own episode of Bring Your Own Lunch.
I love it.
Yeah. So this one's yours, and happy birthday.
Thank you.
We have so much to cover, so I'm trying to wind my way through everything that is going on with you and where you are right now, because you do have a couple of interesting things going on, and you know, as I probably mentioned in the intro, that you are recovering from some pretty serious surgery. Mm-hmm. And I think it would be weird not to start with that.
Okay.
All right. So give me a little bit of history about your condition.
Well, my condition is called endometriosis.
Mm-hmm.
And I was diagnosed when I was 17.
Mm-hmm.
So I've lived with it. I'm actually lucky that I got diagnosed so early and I knew what the problem was. It typically takes 7 to 10 years for a woman to get diagnosed, because the only way to diagnose is to go in laparoscopically and look inside a person. So I got
go ahead.
lucky to get diagnosed, but I, until just recently, didn't have someone that could treat me properly.
So just to get it the basics down pat, because I think I have an understanding basically of what it is, but just to lay it all out, what is endometriosis?
Okay. Short version to try not to gross everyone out.
Gross them out. Who cares?
Okay, I'm going to gross you all out. The lining of the uterus is called the endometrium. And those cells, every month, they get thicker and thicker, and then a woman has her period, and that comes out.
Somebody just got a huge lesson about women right there.
They had no idea.
Yeah,
about.
right, exactly.
So what endometriosis is when those cells, somehow, they don't know how, grow outside of the uterus also, and they implant everywhere in your abdomen. They've found it in the brain, the spine, lungs, on the skin. It can be anywhere. But what happens is every month, those cells are also being told to bleed, just like the ones in the uterus. So they just keep growing and growing and growing. And you wind up with this, sometimes what they call frozen pelvis, where everything is sort of like, it's like a glue. It's
wow.
And so, like, imagine, like, all of your organs, instead of, like, sliding around each other all nice and neat and fun, they're stuck.
Wow.
So, I had surgery when I was 17, but all they did was use a laser to ablate what they saw.
Okay.
But what is, like, the gold standard is for it to be cut out.
For what to be cut out?
All of the endometriosis.
Oh, wow.
In all of its different forms, because it can look like giant cysts. It can look like a clear, filmy, like egg white, like you wouldn't even know what it is. So I had it everywhere. It was everywhere.
Wow. Wow.
From my diaphragm down to my pelvic floor.
Yeah.
Just everywhere.
Wow. So for you, when did the stuff start showing up?
I started having symptoms as soon as I had my first period, really, and that was around 10, 11 years old.
Oh, wow. That's a long time to deal with things.
Yeah.
And what was sort of the symptoms that you found early on?
Heavy bleeding. And just what they call killer cramps.
Okay.
So imagine the worst food poisoning you've ever had, where you've got cramps and you've got diarrhea and you're throwing up. I go through that every month.
Wow. That's tough.
Yeah.
And it has been ever since you were 10 years old.
Yes.
That's a lot of years putting into what sounds pretty miserable.
Yeah.
As far as the other symptoms where the other endometriosis cells, or I forgot how you called it, floated around your body, did you have symptoms caused by those?
Well, I have a lot of bowel symptoms and a lot of urinary symptoms because of how it affects those organs growing on it. I spent several years just in a constant state of nausea. Luckily, that is in the past, but I had a few years there where I was at a loss. I was on Pepto-Bismol and Imodium and just like trying to get through.
Yeah. I remember you being uncomfortable when we did that play together, and you know,
Red Rider.
yeah, when you coming back, Red Rider. We could talk about that in a little bit, but I do remember how much discomfort you were in, and you know, if you don't know, because you explained it to us, I think at the time, if you didn't know that you had a specific medical condition, you might think that somebody would sort of say, well, maybe, how could it be that bad? It's just what everybody every woman goes through. You're being overly dramatic. Did you ever get any of that from people?
I've gotten more than my fair share of that kind of treatment. Yeah, I've been called everything from a hypochondriac to drama queen to.
Wow.
I mean, I had a classmate once that I was sick and I didn't show up to some event or something, and someone said offhandedly, "That girl is always sick." And my classmate really stood up for me and was like, "You don't know what you're talking about. You have no idea." And that made me feel very good.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, at that age, dealing with something that heavy, nobody knows how to deal with anything at all. Nobody knows how to deal with anything, from the simplest, I tripped and stubbed my toe, to, name the worst thing that can happen on a physical level.
Yeah.
everything within that is just a ball of confusion along with everything else when you're that age. So insensitivity just kind of comes with it. So at what point did you sort of feel that people did understand you? Or when did you start to feel that people understood you?
I actually don't think I still don't think people understand me.
Is endometriosis one of those things that people just don't know about?
People don't know about it.
Well, that's why I wanted to talk to you because
I love talking about it. And, a lot of people don't think it's polite to talk about those kinds of things, but I just don't care anymore.
Good for you.
I've gotten to the point where I don't care. You can call me, feminist or whatever. I'm going to talk about my uterus.
Is it a feminist issue even? Okay. So talking about the women reproductive system, it makes people all skeevy and stuff.
I've definitely gotten that where I had guy friends who are like, I don't care about your vagina. Can you shut up now?
Yeah. See,
okay.
That's the height of insensitivity because you're not just talking about it for the sake of talking about it. You have a serious thing going on. Mm-hmm. And, like I said before, if trip and stub your toe when you're in grade school, people are insensitive. But I think there's a mentality that goes along where it's like, if if a guy gets a paper cut, it's like the world has to stop right then and there. Mm-hmm. But if you have a serious, very serious medical condition, we don't want to talk about that.
You said something that made me remember my last ER visit. It was about 6 months ago, I guess.
And why'd you go to the ER?
I had an ovarian cyst.
Okay.
First.
Ooh. Man.
Yeah.
Now, was that related to this condition or
sort of? I've
exacerbated?
I have a tendency to get ovarian cysts.
Okay.
I don't know if it's specifically because of this or not, but it doesn't help.
No, I'm sure. Yeah.
So I went to the ER. I was in obviously a lot of pain and screaming. And I mean, I was so out of it. I couldn't really advocate for myself, and a guy came in.
Oh boy.
And he was crying like a baby because he had a kidney stone. Which I'm not diminishing his pain. No.
But it's probably relatable. Yeah.
He got pain medication and I did not receive any pain medication and I was there for 8 hours.
Wow.
So it's that kind of...
Even in the medical field?
Yes.
Wow.
Absolutely. I can't even remember the last time that I go to the ER because I'm in a desperate situation.
Yeah.
They never give you pain medication.
Wow. That's amazing. Now, why do you think there is such confusion / ignorance / lack of understanding about
because
endometriosis?
You can't see it.
Yeah.
You can't see it. It's not, if I had a cast on my arm or, something physical that they could, relate to, I guess.
But you mentioned kidney stones and you only needed to say kidney stones for me to go, ooh, because the ultimate outcome of the kidney stone process, let's say, which could be unbelievably painful for a very understandable reason, but you don't see it. So do you think it has anything to do with the fact that it's strictly and specifically targets female patients?
I do.
Yeah.
I do.
So why do you think that is? Where do you think that comes from? And I know I'm asking you to play psychologist to the world. But
I mean, if you want to go back far enough, like women who had problems, way back then, they called it hysteria. And
Right. If you don't know where hysteria came from and you find out, it's like the biggest mind screw ever. So where did hysteria come from?
I do know, which I didn't know and found out in college because of a play that we did, that women who were considered being hysterical or, diagnosed with hysteria were sent to the doctor to get orgasms.
Yeah, that. I mean, that I did understand.
I never knew that.
I only found that out a couple of years ago, too, where women were treated for their hysteria by a doctor who manipulated them manually.
And with things.
Objects. to bring about an orgasm, which was so misunderstood that it was considered a medical procedure, which is unreal. It doesn't make any sense, and I'm very sensitive to that thought that like that's ridiculous.
Yes.
I mean, that is the height of not understanding the other gender in any way, shape, or form.
Yes.
I mean, come on.
Yes.
Come on.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, there's that one part of me that's like, hey, that's a pretty good gig for the doctor. But beyond that.
Who hasn't thought that at some point?
Yeah, of course. I mean, you know, especially if you're one of those doctors who, you know, you get a doctor degree and you get the MD on the end of your name, you still can't really get any dates. I mean, you can see some dude being like, hey, let me give this a shot.
Oh, my God.
Let me tell these women. But more on a serious note.
Yes.
So you went in and they took out all of these cells. Does that take care of the problem permanently, or is that a temporary, or?
The way that my doctor described it, it's sort of like setting the clock back to zero.
Okay.
So I've had a good 20 years of these cells growing and implanting, and I wish I had the pictures to show you. They're actually
doesn't make for a great podcast, but
no, but just so you could see, it's crazy what this stuff looks like. So basically, it sets it back to zero. So hopefully, you know, by the time I hit menopause, it won't matter anymore.
Right. Well, and at which time your body will start taking care of you anyway.
Right.
Wow. It's hard to quantify, I'm sure, but in how many places in your body besides where they're supposed to be were those cells found?
They didn't go outside of the abdomen.
Okay.
Usually you have to have sort of in all the cases that they found it in like the lungs or the liver or something like that, it's been because it causes very specific symptoms and they have to get that addressed. And then it's only in pathology that they find out that it's endo cells.
Right. Why did it take this long? And you mentioned that you didn't have somebody who treated it properly. Where did you go for that procedure, and what set them apart?
There are only a handful of doctors in the U.S. that do excision surgery and make endo all they do. You actually can't specialize in endometriosis, but these doctors have made it their, like, they don't deliver babies. They don't do, regular exams. It's all about endo and those surgeries. And there's only a handful that do excision, which is cutting versus laser, because you have to imagine like an iceberg. You might only see the tip sticking out of the water.
Right.
But everything underneath the water has to come out also.
Wow,
and the laser only burns off what's on top.
Sure, that makes sense.
So
it's like shaving a hair versus plucking it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Although on a much more grand scale, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yes. So this doctor, his name is Tamer Sechkin. Love him. I wouldn't let anybody, just anyone in my body. Like it's like if I was going to do it, I was going to do it with the right person.
Sure.
Otherwise, I wasn't, because you read stories about women who've had 10, 12, 20 surgeries.
Oof.
Because they're with doctors that don't know what they're looking for, and they don't know what they're doing, and they don't study endo, and they may have like 2 surgeries a week, and the rest of the time they're delivering babies. Like
right.
These guys, and there are some women, but they live and they breathe endo. So that's why I would only go to one of these handful surgeons.
Well, how many women does this affect? I mean, have you studied it? Have you?
I'm actually have been trying for a long time to put together a small documentary. 176 million women.
Are you kidding?
Not kidding.
Is there a scale of symptoms and how much it affects them? I mean, within that 176 million, which is an unbelievable number.
Unbelievable number. See, your face right now is like, this is why I love talking about it, because people they have no clue.
No, I wouldn't. I mean, geez. I mean, and to think that even if you're suffering for one day a month on that level, that's enough to say,
That's
okay,
enough
you got to do something.
about
Yeah,
it.
exactly. So what's the gap there? I mean, you have 176 million women and only a few specialists. And among those specialists who can actually perform the procedure, only a few of them are actually considered the way you considered your doctor. So what's the gap? Why the gap?
From what I can understand, they don't teach much about it in medical school. And the first line of defense for women with problems with cramping or excessive bleeding is birth control pills.
Oh, okay.
That's the first thing that they do. You go to the doctor, you say, I'm having a lot of cramps. Well, everybody has cramps. No, but these are really bad. Okay, well, let's put you on birth control. That's it. That's the first line of defense. And
now, how many women who have endometriosis would be helped by that? I mean, is that enough for some of these women?
Definitely.
Okay.
For some, yes. And like endometriosis is not something that you can. It's not by the scope of your symptoms. Say one woman has really bad symptoms, she may only have a few lesions.
I see.
And another woman may have a completely frozen pelvis and never know that she has endo.
Oh, interesting.
It's like my mother and my sister both had it.
Oh, wow.
My mother had a very, very bad case. She had a hysterectomy, but she never had problems her entire life. She had 3 children.
Yeah.
No issues. My sister, however, terrible symptoms that she chose to have hysterectomy when she was in her early 20s.
Wow. Now, for you, what's your prognosis?
They say the first 3 months after surgery is pretty tough, and it has been. I was not expecting it to be so hard.
What's hard about it? And I believe you, but what is hard about it?
Just from the sheer amount of cutting that happened, I'm very sore and I get winded easily, and I'm tired.
Sure. Yeah,
very tired. I didn't think I would still be this tired.
Yeah, and how long ago was it?
September 25th.
So we're a couple weeks in. Yeah. And if they say 3 months is that period, you're only kind of scratching the surface.
Exactly.
So, and you were telling me about pain medication.
Yeah.
What happened there?
Yeah, when I was in the hospital, they were giving me the good stuff. It was on the, the little pump where you push the pump, you take a nap, and then you wake up and you just push the pump again.
Yeah, bye-bye. Yeah.
Man, such good stuff. Yeah. I have to tell you, though, that was the first time in my life on that damn pump where I wasn't feeling anything, and it felt great.
You said you weren't feeling anything.
I wasn't feeling any pain for the first time that I can remember. So none
even,
at all.
Like you were in pain every day?
Almost every day, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's not just like during your period.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah. It can be anytime during the month. Yeah.
So that had to be a nice vacation for you.
It was so nice.
I bet, yeah. And then from here on out, I mean, what do they expect will happen to your body overall? I mean, are you going to go back to who you were before the surgery minus all those extra cells, or is there other things that have transpired because of it?
The hope is, and the expectation, about 70% of women after having this surgery say that, their quality of life is dramatically improved. And, they see their symptoms go down to, a fraction of what they were before.
Right.
So I'm not to that point yet because I'm still, but I will say, even when I was still in the hospital, I felt, because one of my biggest symptoms is bloating. I would sometimes just bloat out of nowhere, like 12 inches in my stomach, and I would look like I'm pregnant, like just.
That's significant.
It's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane. But after surgery, I just felt this like internal thinning, like something felt like it was laying right for the first time. Interesting.
Wow.
So
that's amazing. I mean, it does go to show. I mean, medicine is just incredible.
Yeah.
In and of itself. But just how the human body will react to something like that. You figure you go in there and you start poking around with a scalpel, your body's never going to be the same. But in your case, and certainly the hope is that once you've recovered, your body will be like, this is much, much better. Thank you for poking me with a scalpel.
Thank you for poking me.
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing stuff. And I'm glad to hear you're doing well, and I'm glad to hear everything is on the right path, because it makes me feel really stupid about complaining about, aches and pains,
Don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
I mean, geez, like I said, I'm just glad that you're on the right path.
you.
So let's talk about more enjoyable stuff.
Yes.
Yes. Non-medical stuff, unless we happen to go back into it, because I'm going to find out more about you today, and there may be more medical stuff related to acting that comes up. Who knows? But so you were originally from Texas, and I remember very specifically you talking about some of this stuff. But where in Texas?
Brookline, Texas.
Which is the most amazing coincidence in the entire world, if you think about it, because where we will take you once we get a little further into your story. So tell us about Brookline, Texas, and whether or not it is anything like Brooklyn, New York.
Brookline, Texas is nothing like Brooklyn, New York.
Not surprising.
Nothing.
Where in the state is it?
It's very close to the Louisiana border.
So it's on the east side of Texas.
Very, very east.
Very, very east.
Like 2 out. See, we always measure distance in time.
Okay, yeah.
In Texas, because it's driving time.
And it's predictable driving time, I guess.
Usually.
Yeah.
I think since I've moved, I've been here for about 10 years. So
yeah.
I'm not sure what it's like down there. I hear Houston's traffic is terrible.
Oh, okay. But anyway, so
yeah.
Your closest big city would be
Houston.
Houston, okay.
Yeah. 2.5 hours north of Houston.
2.5 hours north, okay. So you were close to Louisiana, and then what would be just above you? I'm trying to think on the map. Or doesn't count, actually, because there's a lot of land there.
Yeah.
All right, so fair enough. So you're close enough to Louisiana, and what is life like in Brookline, Texas?
Very quiet.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pine trees.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of pine needles in your life. Pollen.
Uh-huh.
Life is much slower.
Describe what slow life means to you, because I think having grown up on Long Island, and a lot of people who live in a big city, you think slow and you're like, I'm going to go to the mall in the suburbs because that's slow compared to the hustle and bustle of Fifth Avenue in Manhattan. What is slow when you're from Brooklyn, Texas?
Well, like if you go to Walmart, which is where everyone shops.
Was that the big place to go?
That's the big place to go. There's only a few grocery stores in town, but the Super Walmart is basically where everyone goes.
And how far away from home was that? What kind of drive?
15-minute drive.
15-minute drive, okay. Yeah. And then where would be the next, like, let's say, big store to go to past Walmart?
That would be in, like, Lufkin, which is an hour drive away.
That's hard to, like, being from this part of the world, I am so fascinated by that kind of stuff, where Walmart was your center of the universe.
Yes, Walmart was the mall. There's no mall. And actually, we lived in Brooklyn, but the town was Jasper.
Okay. So what happens on a given day, given the fact that going shopping is kind of like a one-stop shop? What's the rest of your day like?
Well, I always grew up with a lot of animals. So if it's a Saturday, say, you wake up early, I would play with all my dogs.
When you say all my, how many?
I think at one point we had 3.
3's a good number. Okay.
Yeah. We had a couple of chickens. Well, 1 chicken, 1 rooster.
Okay.
That way.
Fair enough. Now, was a chicken that was providing eggs for you guys?
Yes.
That's pretty cool.
Yes.
I've thought about that, but it's harder than I'm sure I'm making it out to be to really maintain. But
well, they're loud.
Yeah.
So it would be hard.
Even just the 2 of them, they would be loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're loud.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you would deal with the animals.
Play with the animals. Maybe do some laundry. I would go down to the creek. I was definitely a creek girl. or the lake. I liked the water. I liked making mud pies.
All right.
And,
All right.
you know.
So lots of outdoor time.
Yeah.
All right. How about school? What's school like?
School was fine.
Was it a big, I mean, was it a kind of a school where a lot of towns sent their kids?
Well, Brookline has its own independent school district.
Oh, okay.
But it's very small. If I had stayed there, I would have been in a class of maybe 8 or 9 students.
Your graduating class?
Yeah.
Wow, that's small.
And instead, I went to Jasper High School, which I think we were around 300, 350.
Oh,
so
that's a big difference. That's a swing.
Yeah.
Wow. So you found a big difference in this small town, but you went to a big school, which is, interesting. Were there kids from other towns also going to Jasper, or was it?
Really just from Brookline.
Okay.
And Jasper.
Okay.
Yeah.
And did you have any thoughts then about getting into this business?
That's all I did.
When did you start thinking that?
After my first play in 8th grade.
Okay. What was the play?
Cybernella.
That's an interesting first play for anybody to do. Wow. Jeez.
And I was the maid. I had one little tiny scene in the beginning and one little tiny scene in the end.
Interesting.
And
it was enough to fuel that fire.
Well, the thing that did it actually is my teacher, who was, I think she was like the social studies teacher or wellness teacher or something. I don't remember who was directing it.
Right.
She hated me.
Oh.
Because I could never get my my little maid's apron to come off when I was supposed to. And I'm like, now being in wardrobe that I, all the wardrobe could have been quick rigged, put a damn snap on it.
Right.
Instead
of having them untie it for real. Yeah.
Yeah. So she hated me and I stuck with it to spite her.
Good for you. Good for you.
And I did all of the plays.
All of the plays, all throughout high school.
Yeah.
And you coming from what is a small town, did you have any concept of what the business really was, or did you just think about being an actor in the abstract?
I sort of did. I mean, my mother was always very supportive of, she wanted me to do pageants and things like that.
Okay, yeah, sure.
And I did a few, but she bought me a book, which I still have. And it's called, I think it was called The Business of Acting. Or something like that.
I see you did your homework.
Yeah, it's completely out of, date right now.
Yeah.
Like, to what the business is now.
Right. But to give you a background on what thoughts went into actually having a career, which is interesting.
So, I was 12, 13 years old sitting in my room. I was actually a really, really shy kid. I was very shy. I didn't make a lot of friends. I sort of stuck around in the theater folk, and my theater teacher was really my closest friend.
A lot of that happens. I mean, a lot of people who do theater in school find their sort of, kinfolk doing that. And I think there's a comfort in there for whatever reason someone might find, but you're not unusual in that way, which is kind of cool to thread that through so many people.
Yeah.
And by the time you graduated, did you have a plan?
I always wanted to go to college for theater. That was the plan. And I did. There's a festival in Texas where you go and you audition in front of all of these college recruiters.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And I got a lot of attention. And
what did you perform at that festival?
I did 2 monologues. I cannot remember for the life of me what they are.
They were monologues. Nobody cares.
They were monologues. I hate monologues.
So do I.
I hate monologues.
So do I.
Give me a cold reading any day.
Amen.
Thank you.
Yes.
So the plan, I found the college I was going to go to, TCU, in the DFW area.
Texas Christian?
Yes.
Yes, okay.
And I was all set. I had to get a lot of loans, though, because they didn't offer scholarships to freshmen for some reason. So the first year, you're kind of screwed. I got, help. Like government help.
Yeah. But the school itself.
Yeah.
A private school.
I think
I would think so if it's a Catholic school.
I have no idea.
Oh, okay.
I don't think it's Catholic, but Heck,
Christian.
I really don't know.
Well, actually, it wouldn't be Christian. It wouldn't be Catholic if it's Texas Christian, then, would it? I don't know. I'm so not attached to all that stuff.
I have no idea.
All right, good. We're on the same page. Yeah.
So that was the plan.
Mm-hmm.
And about, not kidding, 2-3 days before I was about to drive from Brooklyn and up to DFW and go to college, I got a call from the financial aid office that my parents' credit was not good enough. Because I was 17. I wasn't 18, so I couldn't get loans in my name.
Yeah.
So we signed up for the Parent Plus loan, but their credit wasn't good enough. And so I couldn't go.
That's rough. I mean, that kind of speaks to how the system is really just so messed up.
Yeah.
You know, we want people to achieve, we want people to succeed, but we put so many roadblocks in their way from getting anywhere, when the best way to repair somebody's life and future is to enable them to do something like get a really good education.
Absolutely.
Put yourself in a better situation and you're fine. But so what did you do? Oh no.
I set up appointments with the Army, Navy, and Marines.
Wow.
And I went to the Marine appointment for the first one, and I didn't go to any of the others. And I went to boot camp for the Marine Corps.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Wow.
Yeah.
You, I mean, no disrespect meant, but it's like, just knowing you, you don't seem like the hardened Marine type. I mean, you have a strength in you, obviously. You survived everything that you've had to go through, but that's well, tell me about it. Come on.
Well, you know, I would not be the same person I am today if I had not gone to boot camp. But I am very upfront in saying that I am not a veteran. I did not graduate boot camp.
Okay.
I don't like the laurels that people try and put on me for having gone to boot camp, because I did not graduate. I was not considered technically a Marine.
Well, good for you for saying that.
Yeah, because I think, you know, I can't take credit for any of that. Because I didn't fight, you know.
You just went through the training.
I went through the training and I got booted because of endometriosis.
Which is perfectly understandable. Yeah. So what was the biggest thing you learned at boot camp? Because that's a first on this podcast, by the way. Somebody who went through Marine boot camp.
Yeah.
So what was the biggest thing that you can take from that applies to the rest of your life?
Well, it was the first time I'd ever been on a plane. So
wow. Where did you end up training?
Parris Island.
Parris
South
Island,
Carolina.
okay.
So it was the first time, I was 17, and it was the first time I'd traveled away from home, been on a plane.
Oh my gosh.
And just everything you know about your regular life is just ripped away from you. Like, you know, there's no phone calls home. There's no calling mommy if you're not feeling good about it.
You're removed from everything.
You're removed from everything.
Yeah.
You know.
Did you get your hair? How was your hair? They don't
My hair? No.
Okay.
I had really long hair, and you just, I put oil in my hair so I didn't have to wash it as often.
Oh.
And just kept it in a really tight bun.
Wow.
Because if you wash it all the time, you have to constantly deal with putting it back up into a bun.
Yeah.
I would put it in a bun and basically leave it that way for days at a time.
Wow. That worked out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right.
Worked out great.
All right, good. And I'm just trying to wrap my head around this because it's pretty. It's great. It's fascinating. But it's so. I mean, it's probably the most shocking thing so far, and there have been a few shocking things already in this conversation. So, all right. So you go through. I mean, it's intense physical training.
Yes.
And how are you dealing with it, given the endometriosis stuff that you're, I'm sure feeling in its full strength at the time?
I can tell you the exact moment that it started happening. When you go to boot camp, you're given all of your clothes, and they give you a web belt. And I don't know if you've ever seen one of the belts. They come one standard size.
Yeah.
And then you size it down and you cut it.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, this one drill instructor, her job was to come along and cut, make sure that they were all cinched and would cut the belt.
Right.
Well, she tells you to put it to your size where you want it, and I had it to where I wanted it. And one thing about endo is you can't really wear a lot of restrictive clothing.
Sure.
Well, I can't anyway.
Yeah, you mentioned the bloating.
Yeah,
so
it'll
sure.
send me into terrible cramps.
Oof.
If something is restricting.
Yeah.
So I had it where I wanted it. And then she came along and yanked it about 3 more inches and cut it. And I had to wear my belt. And that started this avalanche of symptoms that I started having in boot camp.
Oh, man.
It was terrible.
How long were you actually in boot camp?
I got there in August and I came home. Actually, I found out on my birthday that I was going home, and I came home on October 11th.
Happy?
Very.
Very. Yeah. You didn't enjoy it.
I actually enjoyed boot camp.
Okay.
When I wasn't in pain. Because I grew up in Texas. I grew up going to the gun range and, I'm a physical kind of person. I love
outdoorsy
sports and the obstacle courses at boot camp were like my favorite fucking thing in the world.
Yeah, I believe that.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it, but I did realize that was not my path.
I'm sure there's some things we do in life where it takes you in the direction you're supposed to be going, and there are things we do in life that takes you in a direction for sure you shouldn't. So you don't think you would have lasted even if the endometriosis wouldn't have been?
I would have done it because I'm not I would have
stuck it out.
If I do something, I'm always doing it to the best that I can.
Yeah.
And so I would have stuck it out.
Yeah. And I don't mean to age you, but what you want to give me a range of years this might have been happening. It's but would you have been in line to go to, let's say, Iraq or Afghanistan?
Absolutely.
Do you think about that?
Yeah. It was the fall of 2002 when I went.
All right.
So it would have, I definitely would have been sent.
What do you think about when you put those numbers together?
I think about some of my rack mates.
Yeah.
That I had, I have no idea where they are. I have my diary but I only know their last names because you don't learn people's first names. You learn recruit Lollar or recruit Espinoza.
Holy wow, yeah.
So actually there's one girl, I did remember her first name. Her name was Tiffany, and she was right next to me. And, I wonder where they wound up, if they wound up going overseas. And
wow, that's heavy stuff.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll take it in a lighter direction for a second. Did anybody learn your first name? Do you think?
No.
Because to the best of my knowledge, you're the only Casandera on Earth, but I could be wrong. Where does the name come from?
My mother says she laid in the hospital bed for 3 days thinking of that name.
Wow.
So my mother.
And is it attached to anything? Is it inspired by anything?
No.
And it's entirely her creation, right?
Yeah. Yep.
It's a great name.
I've seen my name on the internet with,
That's not you?
That's not me.
Oh, wow.
Not many.
Yeah, it's pretty unique.
I have Casandera.com though. Which
is the biggest reason you want, especially in this business. So let's talk about like the business as it relates to your name and other things. So you eventually came to New York. Mm-hmm. How did that all happen?
Well, if I had never gone to boot camp, I would have never believed I could live in New York.
Ah, very good.
That is one thing that boot camp definitely
really
gave
toughened
me.
You up.
It was a sense of I can take care of myself and I can travel. I can go other places.
And I'm sure
I didn't necessarily know that before.
Interesting, yeah.
So after boot camp, I came home to East Texas. I went to community college for a couple of years. I got an associate's degree, and I met my friend there who wanted to move to New York to be a stage manager. So she left the program to move to New Jersey, and she would commute in every day.
To go where?
She was trying to find work as a stage manager.
Not to go to school, but to
to work.
Okay.
This was back in 2003, I think. Or 4.
Business was real down by then.
Yeah.
So
she moved up here, and she would call me she was my best friend. She would call me and say she was lonely and please move up here with me. And I said, the only way I will move up there is if you find me a college to go to, because I can't just jump out of the program. I have to have somewhere else I'm going to go to.
Sure.
So she found the CUNY system. And we set up an audition slot for Brooklyn College.
Why Brooklyn College? Besides the obvious connection to home.
Right. Well, I did my research on all the CUNY colleges, and the tuition was right, and they had the best, from what I could tell online, best theater program of all the CUNYs.
And you were interested in straight up acting?
Yes.
Because you've done other things, but you were really focused on acting.
Yes.
Yeah. So tell me about your experience at Brooklyn College.
Brooklyn College, I was a baby,
Okay.
and coming to New York, people here in a general sense are so much tougher and no nonsense. And, I did theater in high school where you couldn't even say God in a play. You had to write out, you couldn't say God. You couldn't say certain words. If you go to LaGuardia High School, they're doing
the vagina monologues.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was a big culture shock to me. It was, even more so than boot camp, I guess.
Yeah, well, it's interesting. I mean, you're exposed to so many different types, I'm sure, that you were never exposed to. Maybe you were at boot camp, but everybody's personality and background was stripped. So how would you really get to have a sense of who anybody is? But yeah, I mean, that's culture shock right there.
So, and it was more of a, I'm a very sensitive person. And so meeting all these tough personalities and, I wasn't used to some of the, teachers, yelling at you, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
You know,
welcome to New York.
Right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now I'm, far removed from it. And I realize if I had been probably 5 years older, I would have been able to relax a little bit more.
Yeah, you take things in stride a little bit more as you mature.
But at the time, there were things that happened that was it was the worst thing in the world, and it really affected some of my experiences.
Yeah, I can imagine that. So you finished up there, and I know you had experience with the Cunninghams.
Yes.
And we had Heather Cunningham on here, but you had experience with her parents as teachers.
Well, with Becky specifically,
okay.
Because I also have for years I've worked in costume shops because you always have to do your hours.
Right. Is that where that started? At
Yeah.
Brooklyn? Yeah. And she was
actually, I started at the community college in Texas.
Oh, okay. Right. And then you came up here and you were learning at her hand.
So I knew Becky before I ever met Heather.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And so that's where you get your background in costume design, which has helped you.
I can design, but I don't really like to design. I just like to sew.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you learn something more? Did you learn things on a different level than you did at community college, or is it continuing the same? Or
it's just learning different ways to do things, different techniques.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a world of knowledge that goes into the wardrobe department that I don't even fully understand. Yeah. I go in, they do their thing, and it seems like they have this great system down, and it all seems like magic to me as an actor, because I just have never really studied it or experienced it. So there's things that I'm sure about the process that would blow my mind. But you have gone on to do that on a very high level. So which shows have you worked on?
Well, the most recent that I just got off of was Mamma Mia, because we just closed September 12th.
Yeah.
So I was Judy McLean's dresser. Adore her. But I started there really as a stitcher. So you... on Broadway, everyone has a very specific job. There's someone that comes in just to iron their shirts, So you learn different aspects about everything. And I mean, I did a lot of off-Broadway too. I did a lot of stuff at Second Stage. I was the wardrobe supervisor for Rent when it went off-Broadway back in 2011. Yeah, I enjoy it a lot, but
the question is, I mean, for me, it's really interesting, the idea of taking a role in a production like that, knowing what your overall aspirations are.
Yeah.
Was there tension for you that way? to kind of sit and watch other people do what you want to do?
Not in that way.
No.
I've never been the type to, I wish that was me.
Okay, good.
I when I am doing wardrobe, that is my job, and I am there to help the show. It's not about me,
Team player.
Yeah.
Great.
You got to be, because that's why people have a bad taste in their mouth for actors trying to be anything other than actors. Mm-hmm. So that I actually don't even, most of the people that I do wardrobe for, they have no idea that I'm an actor.
Did you keep that keep that to yourself on purpose, you think?
I mean, it came out eventually, but usually, because people have preconceived notions about.
Yeah, people can be weird about that. Yeah, for sure. So your acting career.
Yeah. So about that.
No. I mean, I think I said at the time that when we did When You Coming Back, Red Rider.
Yeah.
I never got to share any stage time with you because
I know.
My character left, yours came in, yours left, mine came back.
Yeah.
So we never really got to act together. But so I got to watch what you were doing a lot. And it was fascinating. I think it was amazing to watch how you approach something, which was a very difficult role.
Yeah.
It's in a way. You saw Fargo.
Yes.
What's his name? Steve Buscemi's partner, the guy who didn't have very many lines, but his character was so distinct and he told such a great story, even though he didn't have a lot of lines. And I remember hearing that the story went that he had to be convinced to take that role, even though it didn't have very many lines, because he was going to be in it a lot and he would be allowed to tell the story even through just, nonverbal communication. And that's how it kind of felt with your depiction. What was her name? Cheryl. Yeah. Because you were there, but you were adding to the story. And I thought it was really and I really came to appreciate the idea of taking a role like that and making it bigger than it was on paper. Mm-hmm. So I think I actually learned a bit from you watching you do that. And then you went on to do another production with Retro.
Well, after Red Rider. What was after that? I think.
Well, what I know is you guys got wrote up. You guys got wrote up. Yeah, you guys got written up in the. You guys got some press in the New York Times. Mm-hmm. What was that like for you, getting that kind of recognition?
Well,
what was that for?
That was for The Runner Stumbles.
Okay, so it wasn't quite the next.
Yeah, that was, it was a few years. It was like 3 or 4 years later.
Oh man, time flies. Okay,
yeah,
so
I know,
3-4 years later, you're in the play, and that's that you guys go to off Broadway with that, and you end up getting written up in the New York Times.
Yeah,
how'd that feel?
Amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, especially that was a really great time in my life because I was supervising. I was doing the wardrobe supervising at Rent, and when I approached my company manager at Rent. Could I hire someone to take over for me for these 3 weeks that we're going to be performing? It's only like 5 performances a week versus like a full 8. Mm-hmm. And they were so cool about it.
That's great.
And then when I came back to work after the Times review came out, they had taped it to the wardrobe door with like balloons.
That's awesome.
And it felt really supportive. It was a really great time to be working and making money in a theater, and then to be supported while you're trying to, to also be on stage.
Yeah, there wasn't that tension. They didn't begrudge you. They didn't get all weird about it. They were really supportive, which speaks a lot to their integrity and their professionalism, which is really awesome. And also the fact that they obviously must have liked you, because otherwise they'd be like, well, screw you.
No, you can't take off to do that. We'll hire somebody else.
Yeah, or it would be like that article, like with darts in it.
Right.
Yeah. So you had the nice treatment, which is great.
Yeah.
When you have that kind of validation.
Yes.
What goes on for you? What happens? What kind of feelings do you have when you see that kind of thing?
It's like, because I'm sure when you go for so many years trying to do this thing and you can't get paid for it, and then to see it written up and see your picture, your freaking face staring back at you in the New York Times saying that you were really good at it. It was just very validating.
I'm sure.
It was, I mean, that's really the only word I can come up with, because it was just like, yeah, God damn it.
Yeah, you're not kidding yourself.
Yeah.
There's somebody who might have something, might have some real, what's the word I'm looking for? There's somebody who is very credible in the business saying that you did a good job.
Yeah.
That's.
And it was really nice.
Yeah,
it was really freaking nice.
I'm sure. It's very cool to see.
Yeah.
Yeah. So now you're sort of at this, I don't want to call it a crossroads, but you have gone this far in life with one approach, which was to deal with all that pain you were dealing with as an actor and as a wardrobe person, all that stuff. Now you have a chance, like you said, set the clock back to zero.
Yeah.
What do you do with your career?
Well, I'm hoping I can start over.
Yeah.
You know?
Does it feel like that for you?
A little bit, yeah. I feel like, sort of being reborn in a weird way, because I can't remember the last time I did a show and didn't have a day where I wanted to freaking die from cramps. And I actually haven't done a show in a very long time, because I got to a crossroads where I was like, I have to work. I have to make money. I have to get this health insurance so that I can have this surgery. Like, it's like, I cannot move forward in my career because I keep getting blindsided by ER visit.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's like,
but now that's in the past.
so now
hopefully.
That's hopefully in the past, and setting the clock back to zero. And I'm just, as soon as I can make it a couple blocks without feeling winded, I'm going to be back at it.
Excited?
I'm very excited.
Awesome. How do people keep in touch with you online?
You can email me if you want to. I'm on Twitter.
All right, what's your Twitter?
Casandera?
At Casandera?
I think so.
I would hope so, because you have that name that nobody else has.
Oh, no, I think it's Casandera MJL.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
We'll have it on the site.
I'm on Instagram as Casandera.
At Casandera.
Yeah.
And you have your own website.
I have Casandera.com.
So you're findable.
I'm findable.
And there's only one Casandera.
Yeah.
That's you.
Only one.
That's you. Thanks for doing this.
Absolutely.
Casandera Lollar. Learned so much from that conversation, and it was a super fun conversation overall, and it was great to see her, and it was amazing that she did that on her birthday. I'm so grateful that she spent some of her birthday with me doing this podcast, which is awesome. And I have to admit, I knew so little about endometriosis going into it, other than I knew she had it and that she had surgery for it. So it was great to be there to see her recovering and to know that she is on the path to feeling much, much better. If you want to keep in touch with Casandera, if you want to know more about her career, if you want to keep in touch, if you want to reach out, you can find her on the web, Casandera.com. And you can also follow her on Twitter at Casandera MJL. Both of those links will be in the show notes for this episode at bringyourownlunch.com if you want that. And speaking of links, decided that it'd be a good idea to point you in the right direction in case you know somebody who might be dealing with endometriosis, or you yourself might not realize it, but you might have endometriosis yourself. So you can go to the Endometriosis Foundation of America. They can be found at endofound.org. And again, that will be in the show notes for this episode at bringyourownlunch.com. Thanks, Casandera, for inviting me to your really cool apartment and spending some time with me on your birthday. Happy birthday once again, and I really look forward to seeing what you can do now that you have gotten yourself feeling better. All right, that about does it for another edition of Bring Your Own Lunch. Glad you can join us. Thank you. Also, thank you, Banooba, banooba.net, BANOOBA.net. That's the band you're listening to right now. They are awesome live. Go see them live. Go download their music. Go buy their music, and tell them Dave says hi. Don't forget to go to our website, bringyourownlunch.com. I told you there's lots of links there, pictures, and you can see the entirety of Mantai's The Manti Te'o story that features some awesome work by Casandera Lollar. You can also like us on Facebook.com/BringYourOwnLunch. You can follow us on Twitter at BYOL Podcast. You can follow us on Instagram at Bring Your Own Lunch. And please, 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 if you have a moment and you can spare the time and 0 dimes, please Rate, review, and subscribe to Bring Your Own Lunch at iTunes and or Stitcher, and let the world know that what we're doing is worth listening to. And tell a friend. Tell 10 friends. Tell all your friends. And hashtag BYOL. Let's see if we can make the world know that this is a worthwhile thing to listen to. I think it's worthwhile doing, so there. Stay tuned for Jimmy Jack's Cowpunch Hour, followed by Mansoor and the Fish, and until next week when I have another great guest lined up, this is Dave. I'll see you next week. Let's go, Mets!